Hello and welcome back to the Mule Barn. This is that Jackass. And today, as promised, we are going to make a coat hanger. Not a coat hanger that you hang it on, but something you hang on the wall that you can hang your coat or a hat or something on. This is a project I saw a while back and I've actually been really excited to give it a shot. Something that may come out very nicely. This thing may even sell if we're lucky. First up, we're going to pull 4.5 inches down on this pine so that we can get 4.5 across, and then we're going to pull 4.5 over. And we will rip this before we cut this because it's easier to rip a big board like this. Okay, so set that aside. We'll get this all ripped at the same time. We're going to go ahead and bring this poplar over here, and this is going to be 4 inches long on the poplar. And then that's going to be ripped to 3/4 as well. I'll rip it down to 3/4 and then cut it off. And then we're going to have 2 pieces here. Oak at 3/4 by 4 inch. This is 1.5 inches or 2. This is 2 inches thick, so we should be able to get them both out of this. We'll rip one, cut it, rip the other, cut it, so that we make sure we've got the same width. Oh, actually, we'll rip one side and then the other, since this is nice and smooth on both sides. Alright, a couple of things are going to happen here as we go through this process of ripping. I'm going to come to the realization that my products I'm using, the wood I'm using, is 1.5 inches thick. I had said I was going to get 2 out of each, but that's not going to happen because there is a blade involved, so you can't split 1.5 inches directly in half with this blade included. On top of that, I didn't set it directly in the middle. I set 3/4 inch to the blade, to the side of the blade there that rests against the, I don't even know what that's called, the run, whatever, the inside. So I'm getting 3/4 inch on the inside cut, but I'm not getting more like 5/8 on the outside here towards us. So that's not going to work. The fence, that's the big word I was looking for, the fence. So that's going to be a problem. Plus I realized my blade was too short, so I couldn't do it in 2 cuts. So I had to go all the way through again so that I could get it high enough that I could flip it over and complete this cut. And then obviously on the two, on the poplar and on the oak as well, I had thought that I was going to be getting 2 pieces on the first 4 inches of the oak, and quickly realized that because the explanation I just gave you about the saw blade and everything, I would need to run it a little bit further in order to get the 2 pieces that I need. So that's what happened here. Now we're bouncing over to the miter saw here. I'm getting things set up. I realized my dust collection system is all run off one shop vac, so I just moved the hose from machine to machine. It's not the most efficient, but it does help keep the workshop clean, so it's worth making the effort to change the hoses. Then I'm just going to go in here and start cutting off these 4-inch pieces that I need for the face of the coat hanger. Alright, got them all cut. I'm sitting here, laying them out here. I wanted 4.5 by 4 with a 1/4 inch, so I had a 1/4 inch on each side, but it looks like my measurements right there. These are, those are 1.5 inches, not 1 3/8, so that's where I messed up. No problem. Let's bust these down to 1 3/8. And that'll make this the right width so that everything comes together nice. We're going to do this at the bandsaw. Yay! Alright, so I said yay because this is only the 3rd maybe time I've got to use this bandsaw since I bought it, and I really like this thing. Of course it came with this thin blade, so this is what I use. I'll get some thicker ones, but man, it cuts so nice and it can do so much definition. I really like the way that this works as opposed to the hand version of the same thing, but you can see here that I did forget to hook up my hose for my dust collection system. So I'm collecting a little pile of dust there. Nothing I can't, you know, breathe in a little and then vacuum up later. But man, this bandsaw, I like it a lot. Oh, that is nice. I like that. I like that. All right, back to the table. All right, now we got back here at the table, so we can put this together. Got 2 oaks on the outside, poplar on the inside. When this gets some finish, it's going to look real nice. I think I'm going to make that, I'm going to stain that dark black and leave these front ones natural. But we'll go ahead and get a couple of holes drilled in these for the dowel, and then we'll cut the dowel, and then we'll do a little bit of sanding before we put it all together. But I'm liking this. This is going to come together nice. Do have to put a cut on this though. Alright, so this middle one here, I do have to put a cut on it so that we can put a 45. So for that, I think it'd be a good idea. Let's go back to the chop saw and we'll put that on real quick. Almost forgot. Alrighty, we're back over here at the chop saw. We're going to get this set up for a 45 degree. Set it at 45 on the nose. Alright, now what's going to happen here, now that I got that 45 set, I'm just going to go ahead and cut a 45 from the top of that little board all the way through to the back side. I'm going to struggle a little bit here just because the saw didn't want to go all the way through because of the angle, just the way my chop saw is set up. I don't know if it was the wall in the back or what. I ended up finishing these on the bandsaw. But anyway, the second cut I'm going to put down here is going to be on the back side of that cut in the same angle, going from halfway through to over. And that's just to make room for the pivot point where it's going to open up. When you see it pivot, you'll know the halfway cut is on the bottom, the full cut's on the top. All right, we're back. That is fun. I like that tool. So anyway, we got that done. It's a little rough. We'll sand those when we need to. But right now we need to put some holes in this for the dowel. It's we've got some dowel rod. We're going to put this metal dowel through the middle of this one into these two and allow it to pivot. And you'll see better about that when we put it together. But right now what I need to do is pull in 1/8 of an inch from this spot right here where the angle starts, up 1/8. Then we're going to over 1/4. We're going to drop a Forstner bit into the drill and go 1/4 inch into this. All the way through on this one, 1/2 inch on each of these. And that'll give us the pivot point and the control. And we can glue it together, sand it, glue it together, and it'll be done. That's a nice fact. Alright, we're going to now transfer these measurements. 1/8 on the top, 1/4 across on all 3 of these. And then we're going to go and drill them. Alright, then we're just going to move over to the belt sander. This is my other new tool, and I will tell you, I like this one too. I don't know if I'm just looking for reasons to use it or what, but man, as long as you're careful and you slide that wood around nicely, that thing makes easy work out of a whole lot of hand sanding. I like it. I like it a lot. Alright, boys and girls. Now it's time to just sit back and enjoy the sanding vibes of the great head jackass. Don't forget, you're going to enjoy this. Alright, got it all sanded. Looks good. Edges are rounded. Things are nice. And then I realized, man, you better get the rod cut if you want to have a pivot point. So I'm going to go over here, cut 3 inches of this rod off. Alright, we got that done. Nice little piece of rod. So let's put this in these holes, make sure everything fits. And these are going to glue on here with a 1/4 inch on each side. I'll glue these outside two, and then this one will pop out as a hook for your hat, for your coat, or whatever. But as I'm looking at it, for one thing, I want to put a couple of keyholes in the back of the bottom one here. All right, so to put the keyholes in, I built this little jig because I have a trim router, not a plunge router, so I can't plunge in. So I built a rig to hold it all in place and left myself the ability to push against my rig, push down, slide up, turn it off, pull back, pull it out, turn it over, repeat, push down, pull back. Gives me 2 keyholes, and you'll see those when I'm done. This is my workaround because I don't have a plunge router. Ooh, look at that, like magic. 2 keyholes. You can pop, oh, no, I guess you go this way. Pop it on the wall, hang it down. Good thing I did that because I want to make sure that my slim ends that are for hanging are on the top, so that my coat hanger is up here. All right, back to, we're gonna finish this thing now. Yes. I'm not gonna stay in the back of these because it's not gonna show, but I will do the sides. A little bit down the inside and sort of back, just so that anything that could possibly show will, but I don't really care if there's stain or there's not gonna be, it's not gonna show. All right, keep those dry. Alrighty then, we're here. We can put this thing together. Let's give it a shot. So it's been stained. I put a couple of on this. I also did sand off the middle here so that we can get a good glue up. Okay, so let's get these suckers put back together. Pick this bad boy up here, rotate it around. Alright, we've got a break in your regularly scheduled programming here. I don't know if you watched my last video, but if you did, you would have seen me take this decorative board that basically was used to not be speak Marcus. Could be used for nothing, and tried to turn it into wall art, and I put this etching into it, and I don't know if you can see it that well. I took a picture. In general, it didn't come out that well. It wasn't centered good. It wasn't that deep. I didn't like it, so I called it a fail. This thing is kind of cool. I'm going to show it to Sabina. She might actually even like this. Might put it in the front room. Might put it in the trash. But hey, that's kind of cool. That turned out nice. Now you can return to your regularly scheduled programming. Welcome back to the regular scheduled programming. We have finished the coat hanger. This thing came out pretty darn nice. It's glued up. It's all dried. Did do the staining. Oh, what just happened? This was just working a second ago. Now it's not. Oh God. Oh, because I've got it upside down. It's very sturdy on the top side. So there it is. It drops down. You can hang your hat on it. You can hang your coat on it. You can hang anything on it. This is really cool. I could see making like 4 of these or 6 and hanging them on a wall, having them up like in a cabin or an Airbnb in the mountains somewhere where it's kind of hanging on the wall. It's a little bit like, what is that? And then you drop it, throw a purse, throw a hat, throw some coats. You got hangers on the wall. It's very cool look. I like it. There it is. Hang anything you want to. That is quick. That is easy. And I'd be willing to bet that would sell thing. And just to follow up on this cutting board, you know, when I did the first one, my daughter saw the YouTube when I put it out, and she called me up and she was like, hey Dad, Q2. Doesn't that thing have another side? Can't you make it better? And I'm like, you know what? You're smart. I'm going to do that. So Then I did, and now I got that. So I am so glad that that worked out. And you know, if at first you don't succeed, try again. And don't ever be afraid to Q2. And if you made it this far, thank you very much for joining. Here's a few pictures, some ideas of how to market this coat hanger so that you can sell it. Make sure it looks like where you live, what it could do, how it could be used. It'll totally help. And until next time, thank you so much for joining, and have a nice day from the Head Jackass.